on to the next subject. I don't know how you transition to this subject from what we just talked about, but I'm gonna try my best to tie it all in.
We'll try our
So
best for real.
yeah, inshallah. Now, some people listen. Some people look at McDonald's or fast food as their pursuit of happiness. That gives them happiness, right? Satisfaction. So for the second question, McDonald's is actually opening up, or they have opened up, its first automated restaurant, if you will, in Texas. And this is an ongoing conversation about AI and job displacement. So, what does this mean when we're looking at this new restaurant being open? How does community receiving it? What does it look like for the future long term? AB, do you want to go first? Or do you want me to go first on this one?
I'll go first. I'll go
Okay.
first. Yeah, I'll go first. Doesn't matter.
By the way, guys, for you looking on YouTube land and Facebook or on audio podcast, I'm a little bit under the weather. If the camera goes off, just know I'm there, but you don't want to hear what I'm dealing with. You dig? So just let you know what that is. So AB, go ahead and proceed with this answer.
No worries. No worries. No worries. As a heavy disclaimer, but I got you. No worries.
No doubt.
Anyway, no, bro. This is nothing new, to be honest. I think just the world now is catching up with Japan or South Korea, but this whole movement of AI, and you know, from a business point of view, it makes sense. It makes sense, like to automate certain jobs, and you and I spoke about this, to automate certain jobs that are becoming very trivial or mundane. That it's if I have to pay a human and train the human rather than just paying for a robot and then it's already programmed once and for all, then from a business point of view, it makes sense. Now, if you're looking at it from a displacement of work and people are going to lose their jobs, then yeah, then you can say that about jobs that were here 40 years ago or 30 years ago. You know what I'm saying? A lot of jobs have left because of human progression, because those jobs can be done by machines. Whether one job that used to be done by 3 humans can now be done by 1 machine and 1 human. You know what I'm saying? So, or people that used to do 10 kind of jobs now can be done by a human that's sitting in his office, 1 human, 1 machine, in 1 office. So, and from a business point of view, it makes so much sense. So these people who are like, like trying to start a fuss, like, just go kick rocks, man. Like, just, go touch grass. You feel me? Because, and it's not that I'm coming from a heartless point of place. Like, I'm not. It's not. Listen, okay? I'm not coming from heartless. Humans, regardless, are going to progress. We're going to evolve. And technology is going to be the driving force. Okay. By the way, every sector, whether you're a teacher, you're a doctor, everybody's going to be tasting this to some form or level. It doesn't matter who you are. It just so happens that the easiest jobs to take care of is what? It's McDonald's. Like, it's the restaurant business. You know what I'm saying? And so it makes sense that, like, it's farmers are going to come pretty soon as well, where like people, and also don't forget, people don't want to work anymore. People are, or that's the biggest thing. Like, people don't want, and this was proven, but during COVID, but this also shows 2 things. Okay. And I'm going to play both sides. Okay. The first one, COVID exposed 2 things. COVID exposed, number one, it exposed that people don't want to work. Okay. They don't want to work. Now, the question is, why do they not want to work? Now, if you look at the paying wages and the way they were working and the way they were being dogged, it makes sense why they don't want to work. I can make just a little bit less of money and get money from the government by staying home. So why would I have to go to work when I'm working 3 times as hard by going to work and all this expenditure, and then I only get a little bit of money? So now companies now have gotten smarter, and they're like, all right, now you don't want to work? Cool. We'll just automate your jobs. So that's basically what's happening. That's basically how the world is moving. And a very important quote that one of my mentors told me is that he posed the question. He said, "Is AI taking over your job?" That was literally the question he posed, right? And his answer was, it can be yes, it can be no, it can be maybe, Okay, we don't have an answer for this at this moment right now. However, AI will definitely take the jobs away from those who don't hop on the wave. So if you are open minded, whether you're young or old, and you see the possibilities of AI, whatever they are in any sector, then I suggest you open your mind and see how AI can help you in whatever job you can do. And this goes for anything as like cleaning garbage. It doesn't matter what it is. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. You have to be open minded, open with everything. And that's it. That's honestly that's the hard truth. That's the cold truth.
AI. When we're looking at this, AB, that's got me confused. AI, AB. We're looking at this, right? Do you think that with AI, and just think about this for a second, do you think that we are closer, and when I say closer, like 10 years away from universal basic income, or that's something that our kids will see when they're in the job force? What's closer?
Wait, so ask me again. Are we closer to
Yeah,
universal?
are we closer? Are we 10 years away from that, or it's more in our children's prime when they're working 20 years, 30 years
Oh,
away from universal basic income?
I'll be honest, man. I'm a realist, so I don't think we're even close at all, to be honest. I think the thing is, the thing is, I don't want to be like a conspiracist or anything, man. I don't want to be like and pessimistic is not really my way, but I try to
Right.
keep it realistic. And the idea of universal basic income to me, um, I get it. I understand it. It's one of those things where it's one of those things like it's like communism. I get it. You know what I'm saying? Like I understand the premises behind it, but it sounds good on paper, but in reality it doesn't. And that's how I feel. You know, to me, I guess you could say like I'm pro-capitalist in essence, because I do like business, and I do like and that makes money. Obviously the halal way 100%. For those who are wondering, oh, this guy is a capitalist, he does things. No. Capitalism is good as long as it's done the halal way. Okay.
Right.
But universal based income, to me, there's just too many players involved and too many variables. And I think it's just a buzzword that politicians use to get people who don't understand the actual basis of universal basic income, because it is truly an altruistic idea that everybody has to be on board. Everybody. And so if you're not on board, there's always and we know how people are. There's always going to be one person or one group of people that will just find some loophole, and then people, it always works that way. Just like communism. Just like communism.
Yeah. Just like
You know.
communism, right? That's
Uh,
true. Really good points. In my argument, or my position, not even an argument, but my position, I want to bring some facts to the table. As you
okay.
were talking, I really wanted to make sure that I had some facts, recent facts about AI.
Okay.
So let me do this right now. So let's go into some of the facts here.
Talk to me.
AI, as it currently stands, not 5 years from now, not 10 years from now, AI is the seventh largest contributor to job displacement at this time.
Okay.
At this
Okay.
time, right? So we're not even close to where this will be in the future. All right. According to, I think in May 2023, statistics have shown that only 4,000 jobs were affected negatively by AI, right? And so only 4,000 jobs out there out of all the jobs that have been created or been posted, only 4,000, right? Another thing. Interesting thing for us in education. So there was some type of study, and they said 8 out of the 10 professions most exposed to the latest advances in language models are in teaching,
Yeah, that's true.
education.
That's true.
8 out of 10
Yeah, it's true.
other professions.
Hmm.
Interesting, right? So something to think about as well. At the CNBC Technology Executive Council Summit, right? This blew my mind as well. 75% of the people on the survey said AI will create more jobs than lose jobs or destroy jobs,
I believe that. Yes, I agree with that.
right? So everybody's saying, well, I'm going to lose my job, lose my job. But what if more are created?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's another thing. The last thing that's also tied into this as well. People undoubtedly have to upskill, retrain to master some of the higher order, thinking and logic that comes with AI. If people do that, it can be a useful hedge against job displacement. But
Okay.
how many
True.
people will do that? How many people will be uncomfortable enough to go down that route? So when I say
That's
uncomfortable, I'm talking about people my age, your age,
fine, bro. No, no, bro. That's fine,
right?
bro. Because
Our
that's fine,
little
bro.
ones are gonna know. They're gonna know.
No, no, bro, that's fine, bro. Because listen, bro, listen. You have to trim the fat. It is what it is. You have to trim the fat. Either
Business.
it's business. It's business, brother. It's business. Either no hard feelings when it comes to business.
Mm.
Either, either you get on or you go on. You know what I'm saying? That's the iron rule of the jungle.
Yeah, you get down and lay down. You know what I'm
You get
saying?
you get down or lay down. It's that
Yeah.
simple.
It's like gorilla pimping. You know what I mean? It's just like, listen,
Yes.
like this is what we're gonna do. Like I'm putting down that heavy hand.
No, bro, but let's keep it a buck, my guy. So
Yeah.
let's say, bro, you think, bro, the guy who first created the automobile, okay? Because back then they had horse and buggies, right? So the automobile was a huge evolution moment when it comes to human progress, right?
Yeah, Henry Ford,
So
the Model T, right? That's the
you,
first mass-produced
bro,
vehicle. Yes.
mass-produced vehicle.
Yeah.
So think about, bro, all the guys that used to make buggies. I used to make buggies back in the day.
Right.
What happened? Because buggies was a huge business.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because people, how do they transport each other? Through buggies. You had a horse and a buggy, all these things. Now that entire business got wiped out completely because one guy came and brought in automobiles. He brought cars. He's boom. And then on top of that, but don't forget, not only did he bring in cars, he brought in the assembly line, the conveyor belt. So all those people that were displaced from making buggies, if they were smart enough, they transitioned into what? Making automobiles. So they started making. So they started building. They started what we called. They figured out how to put the pieces and all these things and how to build engines and all that. It's, bro. People, like I said, either you get down or you lay down. It's that simple.
Gorilla pimp.
That's it.
Yep.
There's so all these people and people are always outraged in the beginning. It's always 100% outrage. Humans are one of the biggest like babies in the world. They always outrage. But when push comes to shove, when push and this is an evolutionary moment. This is
Yeah.
not like this is an evolutionary moment, bro. This is humans that have to understand, and you as a human, you have to understand. Okay, I need money. I need to get money for my family. How do I get money? I need to work. What are the works that I need? Okay, AI is a booming sector. I'm gonna study AI so I can get work so I can pay for my family. There's no, it's not rocket science, So if whether you're young or old, it is what it is. Get with it.
So
That's it.
so
You
this is
know.
the thing. You made me think about in my days when I was into hip hop heavy, and Jay Z said this line. He said, "I'm not a businessman. I'm a
I'm a
business man,
businessman.
and let me
Yeah,
do my
I know that line.
business." You know what I
Yeah, yeah.
mean?
It's
And so
right.
this makes me think about how we all should be thinking. Whether you work for a business or you own a business, we all have to be in business of ourselves and in business of growth. Everyone on this planet has to grow. Whether you care or growing or not growing, in order for you to survive, you have to be able to grow and adapt to the
Facts.
times.
Facts.
If we were still doing what cavemen were doing back in the day, what the scientists tell you the cavemen were doing, and we didn't increase our higher order of thinking, where would we be today? Right?
W- We'd be dead.
Right. You have to continue to adapt and grow. So a lot of people say, well, I don't want to do that, or it's not my company. Well, they're not paying me enough to do that. Whether you're doing it for the company or for your own last name, you better learn. And you better
Facts.
upskill. You better retrain. You better adapt. You better have a niche skill set or something that you could bring to the table that's valuable, that you own or that you do. And so a lot of times we can be stuck on the company. The man is putting me down and this and that. But you yourself have to be able to be your own entity, your own brand. Now, I'm not talking about on social media, having a social media account and all I'm doing taking selfies and pictures and that's my brand. No, what I mean is that like who you are. And when somebody says, "Hey, I got Justin Tyler on the line," what are they thinking about when they say Justin Tyler? Oh man, he's a really great marketer. Oh man, he really does great marketing campaigns. You know. Oh yeah, he's really great speaking to people. Public speaking is his number one thing. Oh man, he's really good. You want people to be able to rattle off things that are your brand, that's your reputation. If people fail to do that, or they struggle to find out who you are and what you do, you're not growing. You're going to be replaced.
Facts.
I remember in America, like before I left, people were like, "Oh man, these immigrants taking our jobs." No, that's your fault.
Facts.
A lot of it because you didn't want to learn.
I,
Some person came in.
I think that's the most. I think that's the most like lamest excuse, man.
You know what I'm
Lame
saying?
excuse,
Like
bro.
you're a citizen of this country.
Lamest, bro. You've basically had a head start.
You had a
You've
head
had a
start.
head start. You had a whole. This was a 100-meter dash, and you were on the 90-meter line.
Right. But this person came in with no money. How many times in America have I heard? I had no money when I came here. Had $9 when I came here. I only had
Yeah,
a
bro.
couple of pieces of clothing on my back. I had bought all my family over, and next thing I knew, oh man, now I'm a millionaire. 10 years
I'm not.
later.
I'm running 10 barbershops. I'm
Right. I'm
running
running
10
some
salons.
barbershops. Right.
I got 4 laundromats. Like these, bro. The
Right.
hunger you have is internal, man. And this is God given, by the way. This is God given. It's internal, man.
Mm.
When you're a dog, you're a dog. You feel me? So
So
these
finally,
guys, bro. SubhanAllah, bro. When this is God given, bro. God given. You know, and you can see it when you see people. So when I see people, bro, to me this is a wave. This is a wave, man. And
mm,
you better catch the wave, man. You better catch the wave. You better
yeah,
appreciate the wave. You better ride the wave. You better surf up, like you feel me? Like catch it.
yeah. Max
Because
B, man, surf, ride
Max
the
surf,
wave.
yeah, silver surfer. You feel me?
The
So
surfer, you know what I
Max B, bro. You feel me?
mean?
So so,
It's
so
true though. It's
I'm
true.
very excited, bro. I'm very excited about this whole
Yeah.
because we're seeing it in like 4K. We're seeing it live time right now, bro. It's
Yeah.
and
Only one see.
especially, bro, especially in education. Education is one of the slowest sectors. Okay, education is one of the
Mhm.
slowest sectors, and I don't know why it's slow, but the only reason why education catches up to the rest of the world is because students are smarter than teachers. So students
Woo!
and in terms of tech, students.
Woo!
So I've always said this. The reason why we are good at what we do is because we need to put safety nets to protect to catch kids or to protect kids from doing things that they shouldn't be doing. So they're so far ahead of us in tech. And by tech, I mean social media or any of the things that they use. Obviously, they don't know how to use the tools to the fullest, but they know it good enough to use it,
Right.
whether it's good or bad, doesn't matter. But they know how to use it. So we as teachers, we need to be on the same playing field as them. So we have to be able to use that tech as well. And AI is the new tech now. Uh,
Yeah.
and and COVID exposed that because COVID showed that how lacking we are. There are some teachers that don't even know that didn't even know back in the day that didn't know how to use smart boards. But we had smart boards for how many years? You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
I remember in my early years when I was doing interviews, one of the questions I was being asked is, do you know how to use a smart board? And I'm like, of course I know how to use a smart board. Like it's a big computer. Like you really like if you know how to
Right.
use a computer, then you can use a smart board. Like it's not
Right.
that difficult. There's an HDMI wire, you plug it in, and like I'm saying such like to me it was such common sense things,
Right.
and and but at the time, and don't forget, bro, smart boards have been in classes for like 10 years now, 10,
Right.
12 years. They've been so it's nothing new, and they really haven't upgraded since the first time they were put in classrooms. So
Yep.
and if you really think about it, prior to smart boards, we had what? We had whiteboards. And prior to
Mhm.
whiteboards, we had what? We had blackboards.
Yeah.
So
Back
I,
then.
I remember I remember in grade school, chalk and blackboards.
Yeah.
I remember this. Okay,
Yes.
I remember and then we had an actual like chalkboard eraser where you had to like clap to clean it. I remember these days.
Yes.
So, and then we elevated to whiteboards, and it's such a bro. If you really think about it, That was an evolutionary moment,
It
you
was.
know?
It was.
And then we started getting computers in classroom, and then we got smart boards. But smart boards haven't evolved since I was in high school. They have not evolved. They've been the same.
Right.
Maybe one or two features here and there, but they look the exact same. They're bulky.
Right.
They're like, you know what, bro? TVs have evolved. TVs have gotten thinner and thinner and thinner and thinner and thinner. And now there's so many things that you can do with TVs. There's touchscreen TVs. There's TVs that you stick to the wall. The evolution of TVs is crazy, but the evolution of smart boards is nothing. That shows you how far behind we are in education.
Yeah.
We're really lacking, bro. We're lacking a lot.
You're right though. You made a really good point about how the younger generation can show something to the older generation. But sometimes the older generation has a proclivity to push back and resist what the younger
Yes.
generation is saying, and that's not
Yes.
right. That's not
No.
fair at all. Shout out to Nas, the rapper, who he says, "Look, I'm almost 50, but I'm learning from the young generation on the new style, the new tempo, the new
Yeah.
cadence, and things like that." Doesn't
The new hip
necessarily
hop.
mean that I'll switch what I'm doing, but what it means is that I'm going to learn from them and be able to understand it and to embrace it and to not be an old man who says, no, I can't learn from younger folk about what they're doing. And even for me, in my job, I'm 40. I'm not old. I'm in the middle between the younger ones and the older ones. And I have young people who teach me different things every day about social media. And I'm like, oh, I know you can do that. Oh, yeah, if you just do this and do that, then boom, you know? And I'm opening myself up to some of those things that they're telling me because we have to be early adopters. As much as we don't want to or not, we have to adopt it early and be able to learn and look into it and play around with it early on. Doesn't mean that you have to be the smartest or the most mastered in that AI. But if you play around with it a little bit, you won't be scared to use it. You won't be scared to ask to step up if you have to, right? Because you've already played around with it. You're like, okay, I can dig deeper if you want me to, no problem. Right? And so you're already in it. If you dig deeper, you learn more. Have you been negatively impacted by learning more or to dive into another AI? Probably not. You probably increased what you've already known, and it may keep you young and fresh by learning something new, right? So I think this early adoption of things is
Bro,
most important.
I remember. I'll leave on the story. Okay, I'll
Okay.
leave on the story before we go to the next topic. And I think kids now can relate. For me, bro, the kids know more than I do. When it comes to this kind of stuff, the kids know more than I do. Like it's you, the kids. We as educators, this whole hierarchy thing. It's good to have hierarchy, but you have to have an open hand and like understand that these kids have their own knowledge as well. Okay, and it's very important because that also builds trust as well for these young minds. Yeah, I'm trying to part my knowledge, but I'm not a sage or a hermit where I have this all-knowing head and I'm trying to part my knowledge to these kids. It doesn't work that way. It works both ways, and it's better to work both ways because even when you're teaching, if you show that you're also not knowledgeable in things, um, it's better and it makes your time teaching easier. And it's also the Prophet ﷺ said it was called that whatever you don't know, it's okay to say I don't know. Like whatever. So if you ask me a question, rather than me, and this applies to any not just only in the deen, it also applies to any topic of life. If you ask me a question and I actually don't know, rather than making up a lie or making up a fact or whatever, it's okay to say I don't know, and then I'll get back to you. You know, it's very simple. But going back to this story, this is a true story. So I remember if you recall, and I remember you remember this. Back in the day, the most tech thing that we had was like if you really think about it, before AI and all these things, the most biggest revolutionary thing we had was what? Was Microsoft Word, Excel, PowerPoint, those things, right?
Right.
And I remember as a kid, man, I used to when we first got our first computer, I would like play around with like Excel, with Word, with PowerPoint, with Publisher, all these things. Like I'd play around with it, right? To the point where I've mastered it. I've really mastered it. Okay, so I knew the prompts. What do you call it? I knew the prompts on the keyboard. I knew how to save files. I knew how to transfer files. I knew how to on PowerPoint. I knew how to do transition. I was a wizard, right? Excel. I knew some of the formulas and on how to do like higher level mathematics. So as a kid, you learn these things because you're curious, okay? And also, it's not school related, so it's fun, you know. So you're whenever anything becomes work, you hate it. But whenever you do anything for your own free time, you love it and you enjoy it. So I remember at some point, I got so good that the teacher was asking me for help. Feel me? And um, that exchange of information and knowledge made me feel closer to the teacher. Because I'm like, oh crap, man, like I know this stuff too. Like I can be a teacher. And it feels good for a student to teach a teacher. So teachers need to lower their guards, and it's okay to sometimes switch roles. It's okay for you as the teacher to become a student and the student to teach you as well. It's okay. Like you
Right.
will and these kids have a wealth of knowledge, man. They're so smart. They're
They
so
are.
smart.
Yeah.
So it's
Just like
okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
No, no, that's honestly it. So you need to lower your guard as an educator. You need to show love, and it helps you. Like it really helps you when these kids like it in teaching
Yes.
lessons. It's an amazing thing to extend the olive branch. You know.
Yeah. Well, just like in our dean, we have to lower our gaze. We got to also lower our guard in real life, and embrace
Yeah.
the youth movement. Embrace it. You know
Yeah,
what I
man.
mean? Yeah, embrace it. So I'm with you on that one. That was a really good topic as well. Went longer than I thought. This is great. Like I really, really dug deep into that one because it's going to affect us, man, and it really has some practical knowledge and also implications to how we view ourselves. To be honest with you, exposes a little bit about who you are. So, all right, last topic. This one is a little bit